I want to talk to you about how beautiful France is. I chose a very pretty place in the city where I live, and at the end and throughout, I'll try to give you some flashes of how lovely the city in which I live is. There's no denying that France is not a beautiful city with wonderful food, with wonderful opportunities to live a peaceful, glorious life. But let's not, I don't want to be negative, but let's not talk about the good things for a moment. Let's talk about the reality so that you actually know what's going on in this country. Does that interest you? French people often hungry. French children do not have all the opportunities. France is a country that has a highly stratified social structure. Some people are included and some people are not. When you're not included, you're really not included. It's heartbreaking to see that a society that's based, as it is, on inclusion, opportunity, distribution of good is based on inclusion in social groups. What that means is that if you have a friend, friends, they will help you to get somewhere. So many people are isolated and ostracized, and the basis is highly subjective. The selection of employees, hiring processes are highly subjective. One can liken employment, the employment process as joining a private club. So in this particular episode, I wanted to introduce to you the idea that there's a heavy level of inequality in this nation, which is supposedly based on equality. There's a high level of, I want to say, social isolation in this country, which is based on fraternity. There is, frankly, no equality, which is strange, in a country which is based on equality. Why am I criticizing France in this way? I live here, and for many years I was trained to think by my teachers and by why am I criticizing France? Do I hate France? No. As I said, I think it's a beautiful place to live. I think it has wonderful opportunities. But I hate hypocrisy. Every day I hear more and more about how this is one of the most wonderful places in the world. It's a beacon for people coming from around the world, struggling to get here. When they get here, there's so much brutalization of third world individuals. There's so much brutalization of the poor here. Women are treated poorly here. Children do not have opportunities here. In fact, the only people who have the wonderful life that's so rooted make me a revolutionary to bring this to you? No. I think though, when your professors tell you, learn this language, learn this society's culture, learn this society's history, why don't they tell you that that society is a terribly beleaguered society with terrible problems, and that basing your life on that, why don't they tell you the reality behind those nations? Why do people not talk to us about what's really going on in Mexico? To change the subject. I happen to be of Latin descent. I'm an African-American with Latino origins. Every time anyone has spoken to me about Latin America, I've been made to think of third world, no opportunity, and poverty. But yet, have you ever thought about the fact that Mexico has an extremely vital economy and it's a wealthy nation? Have you ever thought about the fact that Mexico is not as poor as you think, and there's no reason to think that people are dying of hunger in that nation. And have you ever thought about the fact that there's incredible racism in Mexico, or that in Egypt black people are killed and imprisoned with no legal process? Some of these things are given the fact that you can pick up in any newspaper. If we did know some of these facts, would we be so much in love with Europe if we knew that there is a brutal racism that is on the rise here? So, once again, I brought you the skeletons from ideas. Next time I'll be coming to you with more facts, hard facts, more info, and more pretty pictures. Thanks for coming by. Take care.